Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of my Let's Play World of Tanks. And yeah, I did remove Tiny Tina voice mod. Well, actually, when the game updated to 8.5, which is out now, so the first time I recorded in 8.5, it overrided the voice mod, and I really had no intention of putting it back. Yeah, it's cool and all if you're running it solo, but for broadcasting purposes, I gotta agree with y'all, it was kind of a little too talky. I guess it'd be a nice PC way of wording it. But anyway, so I'm in my Super Pershing here for a particular reason, and if you follow me, I'm sorry, getting a text. If you follow me on Facebook or Twitter, you would have seen what I was talking about. That is, I'm actually going to get a new Tier 10. It's been quite a while since I ran Tier 10s. I'm sitting on about 4 or 5 of them in my garage that I just never use, so why not add another one to it? But why am I adding it to it? Because I want to get back into Clan Wars. Now that they've introduced a riot mechanic and a sacking mechanic, I kind of want to try and explore different options that you can utilize that in. I mean, that way I can actually get a little bit involved, but not have to do anything too serious or ultra serious and, you know, kind of get wrapped up in it and have it rule our time on the game. I'd rather have a little more fun doing silly stuff like that. So, that's kind of the game plan, at least for now. And I'm running the Super Pershing because I'm trying to earn the 6 million credits that I need. It's going to be quite a bit of a... Ooh, that's not good. It's going to be quite a bit of a grind to get up there. It's not going to be, you know, something you can do right off the bat. I don't want to fight that ACMLE. I don't know how to tackle him properly from the front. Nope. No thank you. Had a shot for a split second, and then I didn't. So, let's not worry about him. Whoa! Crap, turn side towards tank. Not smart. Alright, let's get over here. And there we go. Alright, so Super Pershing is actually fantastic. It's slowly becoming one of my favorite tanks, simply because of how it operates and how it plays. It really is good at, you know, sitting there taking a bunch of hits, and that's what I like to do. I like to be a bully tank. I like to be able to take hits, one that's a little more forgiving. You know, it just suits my playstyle a little more, in my opinion, and that's the kind of tank that I like to do. It's a little more fun, in my opinion, and this tank actually I've worked very well with. I've had a lot of luck with it. Just in general, my abilities with it are pretty decent. I mean, it's not hard to point and shoot this thing. It's decent pin. Well, decent's relative. It's all... Oop, missed that target. Alright, need to worry about the ACMLE more than anyone else. Everything else is not exactly the major threat here. Uh-oh. So I need to repair my ammo. Alright. Not good. Alright, so now I'm taking too many hits. Alright, we got him down. Now we gotta take on this Jag Panther. Whew! A little bit of hectic work here. Alright, one more hit to him and he'll be dead. The Super Pershing got in the way. I tried to rush that shot to get it in there. Ooh, that was a nightmare. A little bit messy. Needless to say, that was pretty hectic. I was lucky I survived that one, to be honest. Because, oh man. Whew. Anyway, yeah, you can see right there, that's why I love the Super Pershing. It's very forgiving in terms of what it can do. And you just really need to know how to... It's not hard to learn how to play it, and it's very effective when put in the right hands. And that's one of the things I love about it, is it's very tough to get through. It's super powerful in terms of its armor, and it's the gun is not bad. It's on par with everything else, but it's by no means any super, you know, overpowered long rate of fire guns like that. It's more of a fun tank to use. I mean, you're only doing 200 some odd damage, a couple hundred pin, you know, 175, 170 pin. So, as you can see here, I'm not killing a whole heck of a lot, but I took a bunch of hits there. And I mean, I'm still dishing out pretty good damage. I'm up to about 2,000 here. Let's see if I can't range in on this Tiger real quick. Ah, that was a delayed fire on my part. Should have pressed it sooner. I was waiting to try and pull it. So all that's left here is just an artillery piece, and then, you know, 1,800 damage is not bad, on top of the fact I've got hit a crap ton. So, I'll probably earn some good credits for this. I mean, that's kind of the point. I didn't tell you guys what I'm working towards. I'm actually going to try and get the T62. I was torn between that and the E4 as to what to use, but I really liked the the T55 or 54. So the T62A seems to fit my playstyle, and I think that's what I'm gonna try and grind for. That seems to be my goal. So we're gonna wrap this battle up real quick. That was kind of uneventful. We'll see what all transpired because of that. And then we'll move into 2 games I had earlier that were pretty decent. So taking a peek here, we see that I got Steel Wall. What do you know? Yeah! Then I did a pretty decent amount of spotting damage there. That guy had 93, and that guy had 36. Okay, so not a lot of spotting damage at all. Mostly just pure damage on my end. You know, decent credits. So, earned about 60,000 after taxes. And I earned, you know, almost 4,000 experience, even though it's a triple. So, yeah. Oh, look at that. I'm actually right below our T29. What do you know? And I think I got third most experience. So yeah, not bad at all. Nice little round there, and 3,000 potential damage received. There you go. That just shows the beauty of this tank and its ability to just absorb shells left and right. Anyway, let me go ahead and move on to 2 of the other little recordings I have, and I'll come back with those. So, as we go for trying to pick up a new tier 10 tank that I'm looking forward to, I have to still learn the tanks that I currently have and am working on. And the T-34 here of the Chinese type is actually one that I am almost finished with. I'm about halfway done with it. I have it fully geared out, and now it's just working on its way up to the tier 6s, where it actually splits off into 2 different tanks, the heavy line and the light to medium line, which I'm really looking forward to the light to medium line because I already have the, what do you want to call that thing, the Type 62, which I absolutely love and adore, especially when that thing throws gold because it gets double the penetration rate. So I almost exclusively use premium ammunition now because of that simple fact. I mean, you can't, in its tier, it's not as competitive as possible without that premium rounds, and then with the premium rounds, because of the double penetration rate, it is fantastic. And I mean, it's kind of a way of life. Some tanks are just meant to be that way, and I mean, it still makes good money. So, and plus it's leveling up the crew, so I'm ready for the next branch off of this tank. But anyway, enough about that. The T-34 here, when equipped with the 57mm, is just awesome, and I absolutely love it. I loved it when it was a Soviet tank, I mentioned that before, but getting to play it again here as a Chinese tank with the same sort of armaments is not bad at all, and it's very accurate, which is also plays to my play type. I am one of those people who will hold a shot, wait till it really gets in there. I don't like to rush my shots very often. I like to just make sure that it will hit before I fire. Don't like to snapshot as much as I probably should. And also, the tank is pretty maneuverable, pretty fast, and it really does excel in, you know, getting around these corners, so on and so forth. But having to dodge stuff like that, something you can't really avoid too much. Couldn't see him when he was when he hit the wall like that, preventing me from shooting him back. But getting nailed by the Su-26, that thing can fire like right over top of walls, and it's like a mortar tube on tracks. So that's a little annoying piece there. But I mean, I'm slowly getting the understanding how the T-34 here works. It's not exactly the same as what I'm used to in terms of most of my other tanks. It really can't take hits as much, but it's very good when it's used for its mobility and just the quick rate of fire, very accurate gun, and the great penetration. So you're able to relocate as a sniper quite effectively. And that's something that I have been using it for, is actually more of a sniper tank than a frontline tank, even though right now I'm playing it as a frontline tank. And of course I get hit right over top of the building by artillery again. So, silly mortar tubes on tracks, nothing I can do about that. So when I see that the M4 swung around, I'm going to go ahead and try and backdoor him, since he's already pulled in there, and artillery trying to hit me yet again. Being able to shoot right over top of that building is insane. And lo and behold, there's the Lee waiting for me. So, I just need to use some cunningness to my aid here. He shoots and misses me, so I shoot and miss him, but now I got him because he's stuck having to turn around to get me, whereas I do have a turret to help. So I see that he's able to look at me in the front, so I just back up, preventing him from being able to shoot me, and then I get him that way, using my mobility to outmaneuver his front-facing gun only, leaving that to an easy target. So nothing I can argue with. I mean, that's something that, you know, each tank truly does have its own playstyle, and you gotta find out which ones play to you. While I do great in aggressive tanks, playing sniper tanks is something I'm not really keen on. I prefer, you know, something that's aggressive I can get up, has quick aim time. So this is kind of a best of both worlds circumstance. And wow, that guy just got grilled. But the fact that I can quickly aim in is nice. I do have the mobility to be very quick with my driving, and also the ability to fire on the move with this thing is pretty good. So I can play it more aggressive than it really is meant to be. And that's just part of adapting to a tank and learning how to properly use it. It's not necessarily the best thing to do, but you know, you kind of also, in addition to learning the tank's strength and weaknesses and making it work, you also have to see how you can make it fit your own playstyle, and that's what I do. Is I use it almost on a sort of a moving circumstance, and it works out fairly well. It's something that other tanks I have trouble with. Some are more, you know, slow and ponderous that are meant to absorb a lot of hits. Something like how the Super Pershing that I just showed, how that one works out better as just a run up, take a lot of hits, and just dish out damage. Not necessarily go for kills, because it doesn't have the high alpha to guarantee yourself a kill. It's more there to take the hits and do continual damage. So if you want to relate it to other MMOs, it's basically a tank. Funny I should say that a tank is a tank, but you know what I mean. In the sense of a DPSer, a tank, a healer, all that jazz, it is a true and through tank. That's what it's meant to do. So there we go, we had the nice little T-34 here. I'll go ahead and move on to another one real quick. Not a bad little 3-kill game. So let's go ahead and check out one more. So if there's one tank that I have very large struggles with and making it adapt, or making myself adapt to it, it is this tank, the AMX 5100. I've talked about it multiple times, talked about how I'm not very fond of its gun, the recoil on it, the aim time on it, the accuracy of it, the reload of it, so on and so forth. This tank certainly is that tank that I cannot seem to wrap my head around, but, you know, as with anything, practicing and practicing and practicing, sometimes you do get that stellar moment where things just fall into place and they click and it just starts to work for you. And that's something that slowly over time I've had my downs with this tank, but then I've occasionally had ups. And this is one of those times where just this tank, I finally have started to figure it out. Luck went my way in a lot of circumstances. The RNG seemed to favor me as well. And the simple fact that, hey, on occasion, fate just has it out for you that you're going to do somewhat decent. And also, just I'm slowly figuring out how the tank properly should work. And I'm slowly adapting to what it should do and how to make it work a little bit better. So, one thing I'm starting to do with it is I'm, you know, placing my first shot. I'm certainly waiting real quick, and of course I'm rushing the shot just a tad bit, but it's all about just taking my time with these shots. And of course I'm noticing that no one's really targeting me, so that's one major advantage that I have, is that I'm not really being targeted, and it's kind of working out in my favor by and large. And if I'm not getting targeted because I have a bunch of other people around me helping out, that means that, you know, I'm not taking hits, I'm able to expend all my rounds, and that's something that normally I don't have the ability to do. Usually I'm, you know, one of 3 targets out there and they choose me, whereas now I'm kind of hanging out with, you know, a JP4 over here, a ISU who's probably a more primary target than me, just a bunch of other things that seem to have taken preference over me in terms of targets. And that's something that, you know, I've had to learn to adapt to is, hey, I can't be the big bad tank out there. I gotta take my time, I gotta, you know, really place my shots, I gotta make sure I'm a support tank, not a frontline tank. And that's something I have trouble with, is I don't like support tanks. Like, this tank truly is a, you know, support tank where its sole purpose is to assist other tankers. I'm not there to be the frontline main DPS, or I'm not there to take any hits whatsoever. I'm there to just shell out my rounds and duck. And right now, like, I'm sitting here staring at some of these tanks, I'm just, you know, assessing the odds as I do it as, hey, some of these tanks I can take a hit from real quick, some I can't. And something like this Panther, that's all, I've been missing them left and right, and then occasionally, you know, just like that, I'll bounce the one shot you need. And that's something I've also noticed with these autoloaders, is that one time you need it to go through, doesn't happen. Guarantee it doesn't happen. So, I'm just getting lucky, cresting the hill here. Finding the right spot for this tank is very crucial too. And that's, again, you're having to readapt your playstyle, you're having to really think out what you're doing here to make it work. And this has been a major struggle with this tank for me, you know. A lot of people say, oh, you're awesome, Darkling, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it takes a lot of practice with tanks to even become decent. And of course, I don't show you guys the 30 games where I just get aced right away, or, you know, I sit there and do a whole heck of a lot of nothing. And it's not easy to learn certain tanks that are outside of your playstyle. it is not easy to adapt. So once you find a tank or a style of tank that works for you, that's something that you really do want to stick with, because otherwise you're going to really struggle in terms of being able to make things work. And this tank is exactly that. This is not a tank that I am suited to play, but I'm making it work somehow, and it just sheer luck, spite, blood, and tears is what's doing most of the heavy lifting there for me in terms of making this thing work. And of course a little bit of luck and a little bit of people not aiming at me. So I have this Panther sitting here, he has my back. I luckily am able to call in Gilly on TeamSpeak and say, hey, I can't reload to shoot this Panther, can you please help? So he got it. Luckily I was able to get out of there without much in the way of damage. Knowing that what's in front of me, and then what was on the flank, if that guy was taken out, then I'm fine, I'm kosher. I don't have to worry about too much, just survive my long reload. But anywho's, so just the ability to adapt to a certain tank is, it comes from having to, you know, open yourself up to doing different types of playstyles you're not used to. You see a lot of people kind of get into their, I don't want to say their funk or their groove, but more or less they get into their mindset as to how they like to play a tank, period. And then that's the only way they play. And that is both good and bad. When they do that, they're playing, you know, they're having to force the playstyle onto tanks that aren't suited for that. And that's where you see that maybe they're not running necessarily as good, or they don't have as high of an efficiency or a win rate or success in certain tanks, is because they're trying to force something onto a tank that's not meant to be. And that's something that I have been, actually, when I mentioned that the Panther 2 is Gilly, I meant that it was Republic. That's my apology. And Gilly's the one here that I'm actually having to go back and save the ARL, or take the ARL, so I save him. But anyway, so having to get out of the mindset of this is how I play tanks and this is what I'm going to do is very difficult to do. It's not something easy to do if, you know, you've played a certain type of tank for a while and then you swap into tanks that you're normally not used to. It takes a while to do that, and it's something that you have to accept and get out of that, you know, familiarity, get out of your comfort zone. And that's something I'm very terrible at, because I have a very good comfort zone with certain tanks, and I like how certain tanks play. And then coming to something like the British or the French tier, or trees, which are more or less a more advanced tank, I'd say. It takes a little bit more advanced skill to really effectively use them. They're not as forgiving as, say, the American tanks, or they're not as powerful as the Russians, or they're not as accurate as the Germans. It's kind of more of a hybrid of having to learn how to play something completely different. And that's something that, you know, I have to step out of my comfort zone. And it has taken me quite a long time to do that with the French stuff, especially this 5100. And just the sheer, you know, determination and not setting it down is one thing, because I mean, you really have to start ignoring your stats when you do that, because there's no way you can successfully be good at every single type of tank without a lot of practice and a lot of work. You can't just hop into a new tank and be like, okay, I'm good. You need to really work at it, find out its fine details, and then, like I said, you need to adapt to it. Because I kept trying to force my playstyle on this tank, and that's where I kept getting frustrated and mad at this tank, and doing so poorly, because I kept saying, I'm a frontline tank. I like to be able to take hits. I like to dump the whole canister round before I move. I like to make sure all my shots are going to be on target. I don't like to rush and snap my shots. I like, you know, those heavy hits, or I like to be able to take a hit, stuff like that. And the AMX is not for that. The AMX cannot deal that. It cannot hang with that sort of thing. It is meant to be, you know, sit there and have other people have to choose their targets, and this one just dumps around or two here and then quickly hides and then pops back up. Or it acts as support as your other people are the ones doing your damage rate, and you're just sitting back there, you know, helping throw out rounds and doing even more damage adding into it. So the T-34, I have all 6 rounds to take him out, and lo and behold, my luck's gonna, you know, not do so well. 2 more hits would kill him. Let's see if I could do it, get it right in before the cap. Just 1 more hit and I'll have a 7-kill game, but sadly, nope, bounced right off his turret. If I only had hit him in a good spot, he would have been dead and I would have had a 7-kill game. Instead, we ended up with 11 kills. Not bad at all, just short of what is that? Crucial contribution, which still, I think if you do 10 kills, that's crucial contribution right there. Our platoon really did well there. Luckily, we were able to send Gilly around to start flanking just in the off chance to win around. So let me go ahead and take a look at the stats on this one, and we'll wrap it up there. So 2 major things that stand out here right away are the ability that I got the first class for the tank, and I got a Top Gun. It's been a long time since I got a Top Gun, easily a couple months. It's just been, I've noticed that with all the introduction of several different tanks, Top Guns are few and far between. And what's nice is as a support tank, this thing can dish out a lot of damage real quick. So the ability to get those Top Guns seems to be a little bit higher likely for the fast-firing tanks like the French and the British over the high alphas like the Soviets and the Americans, because they just have the ability to continually hit while everybody else is hitting, instead of just that initial large hit that, you know, like a Soviet or American tank is going to do, followed by a bunch of other random hits from your teammates. But either which way, not a big deal about getting it or not, but still, fantastic that I was able to, you know, actually get the Top Gun there. It's been a long time, so I was really happy to earn that one. Earning, what is that, 5,500 experience in that game. So close to getting that 7th kill. If that one shot didn't hit the guy's turret and just hit the lower body, I would have gotten it, but sadly that's out of my control. The RNG decided to make it arc up that high, and nothing you could do about it. I would have got the 7-kill medal. I think that's, what is that, this Bolter's medal nowadays? I haven't got one of those in forever and a half. The last high kill medal was that one AC... Or was that thing? The Tier 5 Fudgesicle, when I got the Pools medal. I think that was the last time I actually did anything fantastic. That was a long time ago. But anyway, so as you can see there, I damaged quite a bit of different targets, from that T-25AT to the JP4 and the VK-36, all opportunities that other people were able to grab real quick. Oh no, those were kills. The Panther, who I had to call Republic back to help me kill. The T-21, who I actually didn't kill. I thought that I hit him for damage, but instead I just hit him for no damage crit. And then of course the 34, which I was able to hit, but couldn't finish him off in the last minute. So 27 shots fired by the looks of it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the team score, where I can actually see my hits versus my misses. So there you, no, team score is actually where I see my damage. There we go. 4,185 damage points, 6 kills, and 1,258 experience if I were to take that unmodified. So that was a fantastic game, followed up by Republic, who did a little over a little over half the damage I did at 2,800, killing 4 people and having 1,100 experience, so right under me in terms of his ability. And then Gilly slightly under that, getting 1,000 damage, 1,500 damage. So all 3 of us combined for 11 kills. That was fantastic. Sadly, we didn't get crucial contribution, which would have been nice, but I guess one more tank kill would have done it. Had I killed that 34, we would have got crucial contribution. Nothing we could do about that. We tried, and we did fairly well, actually. We had a great game, needless to say. Anyway, so moving on from there, we'll go ahead and look at the detailed report. And there we go. Now we can see out of my 27 shots, 20 of them hit, 16 or 18 of them penetrated. So not too many did no damage hits, just the one on the T-34 and then the one on the T-21. And sadly, missed opportunities there, but no big deal. Enemies detected, I only saw 1, damaged 9 targets, killed 6 of them. So, and of course, capping about 50% of the base. Overall, fantastic little game there. Sadly, only making about 10,000 credits after our taxes, because I dumped a lot of ammunition, so I had to recoup all that. No premium tank here to make up that money like I did with the Super Pershing. So, there you have it. A great finishing game, finally able to adapt to the AMX 5100's playstyle. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I guess I will catch you in the next one here. Thanks guys, and I'll catch you then.